So, a lot of you have been asking me about how to get started in investing. And a lot of you that ask this question are actually just starting out in your careers. Maybe you're making a little bit of money and you want to know what's the best way to get started. What do I do with the money that I have left over? How do I take it out of my check before I even have anything left over? And this issue is super important because if you don't get your money in order, then the wealth that you build up throughout your life will probably not last you very long. Everyone idolizes doctors, says they make a lot of money. True, but doctors also carry a lot of student debt. And I think statistics say that the average doctor will make about $6 million in their lifetime, but I think most of them retire with something like only $250,000 saved, which is not that much considering the earnings and the earnings power that they have. Now, if that's the case with the doctor, how much more so for someone else who's not making that much? So, if you wanted to ask me where you should get started in investing, because I get a lot of calls and questions from you guys about this, I would say number one is get your personal finances in order. You have to understand your budget. You have to understand your assets and your liabilities. Money in, money out. It's like dieting, calories in, calories out. And if you don't understand that, then you're not going to understand how much debt you have. And if you don't understand how much debt you have, you are going to be paying unnecessary fees and interest and so on and so forth. So number one, understand your personal finances. Number two, get your personal debt under control. If you've got credit card debt, you need to pay it down. If you've got student loans, you need to schedule those out. If you have other more long-term scheduled debts like a mortgage or a payment plan on something, then you need to make sure that you have an acceptable rate and that you don't have any opportunity of consolidating those loans or debts into lower interest rates if you're paying interest on them. So get your personal finances under control, and then and only then can you become a saver. And once you've saved something, then you can start putting money away to invest. So unless you've got surplus capital, you can't invest. And if you invest, this is the mistake that a lot of people make. They go, oh, well, I've got a credit card debt, but I'm putting money away into my IRA, or I just started a job and I'm putting it away into my 401k. All right, well, you are making maybe 6 to 8% on your retirement account, whatever investment you think that you're balling in. And then it turns out that your credit card debt is at like 15, 20% interest, which means that you are burning through money and you're still in debt. So if you let's say paying, you're making 7.5%, but you're paying 15% in credit card interest, then you're only left with 7.5% more interest to pay. You actually haven't made any money. So pay down your debts first, then start to invest. Every payment of a debt that you make is an investment in your future because you will have more earning power when you actually do invest. All right. Number two, I would say, is have a goal in mind. What the hell do you want to do with your money once you've saved it? Now, it can be very simple. You can say, for example, I want to save up enough money to be able to go on vacation. I want to save up enough money to buy my mom something. I want to save up enough money to buy my spouse something. I want to save up enough money to have 6 months of living expenses in the bank. Have a goal. It does not have to be complicated, but it should be simple and actionable. And then once you reach that goal or that milestone, you can make it a lot more involved. Then I would say is open up a brokerage account and learn market orders. Grab a book like Swing Trading for Dummies, and then just learn how the markets works. Think or Swim has a paper trading system. You don't put real money in, but you get real market data. You can use things like that to basically learn how the market operates if you want to invest. And then once you've started to learn how the markets operate, and you're not treating it like a casino, you're not treating it like a slot machine and just throwing money in, pulling a lever, and then thinking that you're supposed to get money out, then and only then can you actually start to have a strategy of where to put your money. So there's a stack for investments that, and I know some of you are going to ask me about my finger. I smashed it in a door, so I got like a million questions yesterday about it. Hyperbole, obviously, but my finger's fine. So you get a stack of investments, okay? If you're working a job where you have a 401k, your money should be going into the 401k. Then let's say, for example, you have a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA that goes on top of that. So you put your money in your 401k first, then you put money in your IRA, then you've got money in a brokerage account. Now that brokerage account is a taxable account. You might be long-term investing, and if you're long-term investing, you want someone with name recognition. You want to use like, Schwab or T. Rowe Price or something like that. If you are recreational and you're still learning, Robinhood is a good option because it just basically allows you to kind of play around with it. Now, why do you want to have that stack? Because the 401k gives you your employer match. Don't leave money on the table. The IRA gives you tax advantages. And then after that is the money that you put into the brokerage account. And that's really where you're going to learn. You're never going to learn how the markets operate until you actually put a little bit of money into the market, and you lose some and you win some. And paper trading is great, but if you don't actually lose or make money, then it becomes more difficult to understand exactly how the markets will work. Then after you've got that, you've got that stack going, you want to put it on autopilot. So you want to have a monthly deduction into your 401k with monthly, it'll be allocated automatically. You have a monthly deduction into your IRA. You need to set up an automatic trade in your whichever system you're using so that it buys whatever fund that you want. And there's a whole other subject that we can talk about: asset allocation, stock picks, funds, all that kind of stuff. We can talk about that some other time, but here we're just talking about general strategy. And then with your brokerage account, you can do one of two things. You can do the same thing you're doing in your retirement accounts with funds, or you can read a book like Rule Number 1 and learn how to read financials and learn basically an entire industry. Some people take that. Some people go, an inch wide and a mile deep, and some people go a mile wide and an inch deep. And those two strategies, you have to pick one and then basically go with it. The key thing here is that you're either going to do it yourself or you're going to have somebody else do it for you. You can use a robo-advisor that invests it and reallocates it as necessary, or you're going to actually invest the time. And you have to decide, what do you want to do? And that goes back to number 2 or 3, it was your intention. What do you want out of this whole thing? And then, continue to learn, read up about markets, about finance, about investing, about behavioral finance, about psychology. Read all this stuff. The laws of the laws of wealth is a great book on this topic. I've enjoyed reading that in the past. Maybe I can put out a book list for some of you in the future. Anyway, we're getting to the 9-minute mark. I'm going to leave it here. I hope that you like this advice. If you're a young professional and you want to learn more, I'm actually going to be teaching a day-long seminar here in Houston on September 15th, Sunday in the afternoon, called Money for Muslim Millennials, where we're going to basically navigate all this stuff and teach you step-by-step how to do it. So check that out. It's going to be available online and on-site here in Houston. I'll put the link in the description. We've got some other really nice stuff that's coming up for money management and financial management that I'll be sending out on my newsletter, as well as some other things, other classes as well. So be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. That's joebradford.net/newsletter. That's the first place that you'll get all this news first. Thank you very much, and assalamu alaikum. I'll talk to you guys later.